the Qurayza were inside Medina with Muhammad and the Muslims, and they had an accord with Muhammad and the Muslims. But after they had seen what had happened to the other two Jewish tribes of Medina, the Nadir and the Kainuka, they, understandably, I think, reached out to the Quraysh and offered to make an accord with them against Muhammad.
So you have these people, part of the alliance of Medina, siding with the most bitter enemy to finish off the Muslim community. That was high treason, because the Muslims, as the Quran tells us, were shaken to the foundation and thinking that it is khalas, the end is nigh.
Muslim scholars claim that at the very least, the Banu Qurayza betrayed Muhammad by negotiating with the Quraysh and being on the brink of attacking the Muslim forces, even though the Quraysh and their allies withdrew before this attack could take place.
That's the traditional explanation. He was betrayed. There is, by the way, no record of any actual attack of the Jews against the Prophet or anything like that. Now, during this siege, the Qurayza lent weapons to the Prophet. On the other hand, they probably also traded with the besiegers, because they were traders.
I think the Banu Qurayza probably did side with the Quraysh. I think this would have been a natural thing for them to have done. Jews are always looking for allies. In the diaspora, a cornerstone of Jewish political theory has been you meet and make friends with everyone that you can meet and make friends with. And I think this would have been absolutely natural for them to have done this.
If this plot had succeeded, the Quraysh would have been able to enter Medina, they would have slaughtered Muhammad and all of his followers, and his attempts to start this new religion would have come to a halt. His reaction to this latest act of treachery would lead to one of the most controversial incidents in his entire life. Muhammad ordered his army to surround the village of the Jewish tribe. They held out for 25 days before surrendering. He now faced a dilemma. If he allowed them to go free, they could join the Quraysh in Mecca and help them to crush him. Rather than make the decision himself, Muhammad agreed that an independent arbiter be appointed. He allowed the Jewish tribal leaders to choose a respected local leader to arbitrate and pronounce judgment.
It was the third time he was meeting some of the people and say, I'm going now to ask someone to judge you. Are you happy with this? And he asked Sa'd ibn Mu'adh to come and to decide. He decided that the man should be killed. And before this, the Prophet said, I'm not going to judge, I'm going to ask someone. The point is for us here is to acknowledge two things. First, it happened that men were killed, but in a situation where he spared the life of the people 2 times before, and this was the last time, and say, this is enough, because you are continuing, even though we are sparing your life, to attack us in a way which was betraying us.
He said all the fighters amongst Banu Qurayza should be put to the sword, and the women and children should be taken as captives. This is what happened. They were executed.
This is the first Holocaust against the Jews. How can a prophet order a massacre of 800 men? Even if they tried to kill him, he could have banished them, or he could have moved.